Hey everyone, I hope you're all well. My guest is actually on a road trip. Storm chasing is one of her many hobbies, and she's just pulled into a gas station. My guest is actually, she's just pulled into a gas station. Hopefully, she's going to join us live from her phone. So hopefully, she shows up in the room very shortly. Yes, so I'm just going to let you know how I met Tabitha. Tabitha, I think, is from Tennessee. I think she's from Tennessee. Werner and I were at Waverley Hills doing the overnight lockdown, and Tabitha was, here she is now. Hello.
Hello. Howdy
You
Colorado.
you look wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I've been
Yeah.
storm chasing all day.
Yes, I was just sort of started talking about you and how we met and what you were doing, and how was the storm chase?
I got on 3 storms that were tornado warned, but I didn't see any tornadoes. But I got some cool clouds.
Oh, awesome. Great
I'm
pictures.
tomorrow is going to be storm chasing in Kansas. So,
Oh,
so I'll be hanging out in Kansas all day tomorrow.
awesome.
But yeah, it's a fun hobby, kind of like ghost hunting, but more adrenaline.
Yeah, I imagine. Have you ever, I know we're supposed to be talking about graveyard cleaning, but have you ever been sort of close to getting like sucked up in the getting sucked up into a tornado?
Oh, no.
Has one ever coming your way?
I've gotten close. There was a place in Moulton, Alabama that I got pretty close to it. I could see power lines being ripped up.
Yeah.
There's a blue arc. Like it almost looked like lightning, but it comes from the power lines. And yeah, I was like right beside it.
That worked. Oh no, that didn't work. What happened?
Oh no.
Sorry, I was trying to make you bigger.
Oh, okay.
And me smaller, but that's right. I'll just stick to the usual, to side by side.
Oh, you're
Oh,
fine.
that's
I
awesome.
I hit up graves too while storm chasing as well, like famous graves. So
Yeah.
I got an Indian chief today, Chief
Oh
Crazy
wow.
Horse. But yeah, I like to mix all my hobbies together. You know, all I need now is a ghost hunt, and I've done them all.
You would have three in one holiday.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was just telling everyone that we first met back in 2016. No, yeah, 2016. And Werner actually saw you using a grid light at Waverley Hill Sanitarium. And I think that's his first experience with grid lights. I'm just going to say quickly, hello, Tipper TV. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Kanga. I think you're the only 2 watching at the moment. No, there's 4. Only 2 people talking to me. That's okay. That's fine. Thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah.
And so for the next few months, Wern was all about grid lights, and he got a whole heap of them. And then 2018, we came back and invited you to join us again at Waverley Hills, and that was a good couple of overnight stay, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bobby Mackey's.
Yes, that's right. We went to Bobby Mackey's, and the one thing I only wrote 3 questions down for you about your hobbies, your hobby of graveyard, because I've driven in a car with you for like 2 or 3 hours or something like that, and I know you can talk. I don't need to do much probing. Tabitha's very knowledgeable about lots and lots of things, and it was really wonderful to listen to her in the car on the way to and from Bobby Mackey's and your favourite restaurant.
Oh yes, Skyline Chili. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, Cincinnati chili. That's funny.
Absolutely. So just waiting for a little bit longer. Before we fully start, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm broadcasting live from Ghana land. I pay my respects to the elders of the Ghana people, past, present and future. This land was never ceded, and they continue to have a spiritual and physical relationship with
Oh,
the.
sorry. There's a semi truck right behind me.
Oh, that's all right. With the Adelaide Plains. Okay. Are you in a quiet spot or are you in a loud spot?
I'm in a quiet spot. Uh, let's see here. All right. I think I'm in a quiet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so the first question I was going to ask you, in actual fact, I designed a banner. I actually upgraded my StreamYard today.
Oh.
Oh, there's my ticker banner.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't it awesome? I've got a few, so I'll display them throughout the course of the morning. Now, my first question was, I suppose it's the chicken or the egg. What were you first interested in, cemeteries or graveyard cleaning?
Cemeteries at first.
Yeah.
I guess I could say like I first got started into it by visiting the President George Washington grave. I went to his, and he was number one, the first president. And so I thought it'd be kind of neat to see all the presidents' graves. And so it
Mhm.
took me a year to visit every single dead president's grave. But then I got into while I was in the cemetery, I was like, hey, there's other famous graves here too. Musicians or whatever. And so I started doing all famous graves. So
Oh,
I've been all over the country and some in Canada too, visiting just famous graves. But while I was in cemeteries, I noticed that many of them were like really dirty and kind of like what used to be bright white marble is now completely black.
hmm.
And so that got me into thinking about cleaning graves. As I was like, well, since I'm already in the cemetery, it'd be kind of neat to get back. So yeah, I've been I bought a cleaning kit that has
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's called D2. D2 biological solution is the spray that you buy, and so it's safe for graves. It doesn't ruin the graves or anything like that, and it's what the White House uses.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah,
the
yeah.
White House, Lincoln Memorial, basically anything in white, and all the veteran graves like Arlington Cemetery, they all use the same chemical, the D2. So
Oh.
So I bought D2 and then some soft bristle brushes. And then you basically just spray it onto the grave. And then you have two options. You can come back in a couple weeks or a month and then spray again. And then like wipe it with a brush. The first spray kind of kills things off. Or you
Hmm.
can spray it, wait 10 minutes, start scrubbing it. And then you rinse it off with water. So I got a 2-gallon bucket or sprayer thing, so I can just spray it down. And but yeah, I kind of been putting a lot of money into it, and it's like
Wow.
I don't even know the graves I'm cleaning. I just
Oh,
randomly
really?
choose a dirty grave and start cleaning it.
Oh, wow. So do you just choose random graves or graves you particularly like, or?
Yeah, I just choose a random one. Like I'll choose one that's kind of like a famous grave, like they were well known, and
Yeah.
at least in Nashville for some kind of historical thing. So I feel like if I do a famous grave, I need to pick someone random,
Mhm.
and so just as I'm walking around the cemetery, I'll find one that I'm like, oh, you need a cleaning, and then I'll just
That's fabulous. Oh, you need to clean, you need to clean, you need to
yeah.
clean. I'll just write you all on my list.
Yeah,
Um,
the problem with that I found is you could literally spend all your money and all your free time cleaning graves. There's just so many.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. How long does it take you to clean a grave then?
Um, it took the last one that I did. I started in March and I finished it just a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I cleaned it about 5 times.
Yeah.
So people see the before and after. They didn't see like the. I would go back in 3 weeks and clean it again, and each time it got whiter and whiter.
Wow. Do you know what I was expecting? I was expecting, oh, it takes me an hour or it takes me 2 hours or no, 5 minutes. You know, you just put it on and wipe it off. And he went 5 times yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
I would say for about 45 minutes to an hour to do a good cleaning, and
Yeah.
then I spray it with the D2 solution, and then I come back and in about 3 to 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do another cleaning. So each time it soaks in a little deeper. The spray kills off like the moss and all that stuff that's in there. So letting it
Wow.
soak in for a couple of weeks really helps get it clean.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Do you ever put the necrophonic on or anything like that while you're doing a clean and talk? Say hello. I'm just giving you a good clean. You know, just have a conversation, or is
Yeah,
it just cleaning? Or
yeah. Like one, I was like, I don't know if you've had a cleaning in 162 years, but I'm like, don't. I'm sure you don't mind, you know. Uh, uh,
yes. Do you Does anybody see you doing this and ask, well, what the hell are you doing?
no, not yet. But usually when I'm there, I'm by myself. But every now and then there'll be like people that walk through that cemetery, and they'll just walk
Mm.
by me and just feel like, oh, okay. Like they see me with a little toothbrush, and I'm like cleaning like and all the little fine areas of the grave, and they're probably like, that's weird.
Yes. So how long have you been? I'm sort of jumping here because I'm thinking of questions that goes along. I'm just trying to be as fluid as I possibly can. How long have you been cleaning graves?
I started this year in March, so
Right.
I'm a
Okay.
noob. Uh,
Oh,
but
so did you
I got
go
about
on?
5 graves clean in the works at the moment, and
Wow,
each
wow.
time gets a little brighter. But
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I suppose you enjoy seeing the fruits of your labour as well.
yeah, it is. It's neat to see, like people that died in the mid 1800s, and it's like they have a brand new grave again. And
Wow, that's fantastic.
yeah, I feel like maybe their spirit is probably like, thank you so much, or they're
Yeah,
like,
more than
uh,
likely. Have you ever asked them if they like their new headstone or their clean headstone?
yeah, I do say I hope you like this. Otherwise they'll curse me. I'm sure if they don't, be like, get
Yes.
away from my grave.
Oh, hang on. And Tipper TV came up with
Oh, you're getting comments.
yes. Oh, I've got lots of comments in the stream. I'm just not. I'm sort of focused on the interview as opposed to the comments, and I'm trying not to ignore the comments, but it's really difficult sometimes because I'm actually. This is the first time I've heard of this, and I'm really interested in how. So, did you just wake up one day think I'm going to clean some headstones, or did
Yeah.
you? How did it come about?
Yeah, I saw on Facebook there's a group, and it's kind of one. That's what they do. It's called the Good Cemeterian, uh, kind of a take of the Good Samaritan, and it's just a bunch of people who clean graves. And so I got on there, and I was seeing all these and beautiful before and afters, and I was like, I want to go out and do that too. you know,
Yes.
because yeah, they would post like these just really dark, forgotten graves, some even from the 1700s, and make them
Yeah.
all
Oh
nice and
wow.
fresh.
Well, yeah. Of course, your European history goes back a little bit further than ours.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Um, So we do have I was just gonna get you talking for a few minutes and then like ask questions, but we've got a question now. Did you have to get permission to do this?
Ooh, oh, that's a good question. No, I didn't ask permission, but I'm friends with someone that works at that cemetery who loved it so much that he wants to come join me. So I figured if he's an employee that works at that cemetery and he wants to help me clean, then I probably didn't violate any rules.
Mm,
At least that's the going thought. He's like, oh, he's like, this is awesome. I'll tell my boss and all that stuff, and they haven't said anything negative. But the one thing that they do recommend is that you get permission from like the descendants. But from this case, it was from the 1850s and 60s that and I have no idea. Like to do the genealogy, to figure out who they are and then to contact them. They probably don't even know that their ancestors buried there. So
mm.
I don't. But if I were to do a grave of someone that was much more recent, maybe in the last 20, 30 years, I probably would reach out to.
Wow,
You
that's
know,
amazing. Yeah, that's good. That's a wonderful thing to do for people.
yeah.
Kanga Blue has a question, or it looks like a comment. I remember taking my grandmother to her brother's grave. She hadn't been there for a long time as it was far away. The headstone was dirty and you couldn't read it. And I think she goes on to say, we didn't have cleaning stuff, of course, but we did have a little cut-off piece of brand new carpet. So we ranted over the headstone to clean it up. She was happy you could read it again. That's
That's
fabulous.
awesome. Anything that works. One thing that I do is like the ice scrapers that people carry for their cars, and it has like
Mm,
a brush on there so you can brush away snow and all that stuff. I actually carry that in my car, so that way if like especially after landscapers come in and they mow and all, like the graves will often be caked in grass clippings, and so I'll just brush the grave clean with
yeah.
the brush, and also so that is actually fairly common.
Mm. And Jackie said she asked about that because we do have volunteers. We actually have groups. We do have groups of volunteers here in South Australia. I don't know about the rest of Australia who take care of cemeteries from time to time. And I can't remember your original question. Oh, do you need permission? Yes. So
Yeah, and some cemeteries I guess do, but most don't. In fact, for most people, that from what I was told by my friend who works at the cemetery, is they consider that you're doing something for free, so you're helping them. So
yeah,
you're saving them the cost of the D2 solution, and you're doing the actual labor. So, if anything, that you're like a free servant to the
yeah, they
cemetery.
should be grateful. Do you get anybody angry with you?
No, no, I'm not. No, actually, everyone's who has actually watched and all, they're amazed. They're like, "Oh wow, that's it's amazing how clean it is."
Oh, that's good.
But
Are there many people who do it? You said there
uh,
was a Facebook group. How many people on the Facebook group?
there's probably many thousands of people. I would say maybe 10 to 20,000 people. It's called the
Wow.
Good Cemeterian, um,
Yeah.
and there's other groups too. But that's one thing that they love showing is before and after of cleaning.
Mm, absolutely. And you do children's headstones as well.
Yes. This one lady, she died in 1862, I believe, and both of her sons died very young, and so I cleaned their graves too.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured it would be nice to clean the mom and the kids, but I left the dad alone. I was like, I'll worry about him later.
Oh, fair enough. Women and children first. I
Yes.
just
But
watching. Oh, Yes, I just been watching a whole heap of shows on the Titanic, and you hear that a lot.
Yeah,
What type of chemicals do you use? All headstones are different. Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
yeah. The common chemical for grave clean is D2 biological solution, and then I buy it from a place called like something about the grave cleaning association or something, but it was about $100 for the kit, and it comes with the brushes and then a gallon of the solution and then 2 quarts. So it's enough to last a little bit. But
Can somebody from Australia quickly translate gallon into litres?
uh, uh, what is it? Uh,
I
four
don't
liters.
know.
4 liters is a gallon.
Is it something like that? Yes.
Something
So
like
that's
that.
like 4 litres. That's not a lot, really.
No,
Well, I
but
suppose it depends on how much you actually need.
since you're spraying the grave and all, it goes a long way.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, since it's kind of a fine mist. Yeah,
Mhm.
but that's the only one that I've needed, and it's good for a lot of use. Like it has like stone, and it just lists all kinds of materials that is good to clean. But it's basically made to get rid of mold and pollution, air pollution, and things that just have coated the grave. And
Oh, okay. So it doesn't affect the material itself, the
no,
material that headstone's made out of.
yeah, it's supposed to be like salt free and like like acid free. It's like supposed to be free of any ingredient that would actually hurt a grave.
Oh, wow. So it's actually quite environmentally friendly.
Yes, yes, and it's made for this purpose. Like, um, all veteran cemeteries here use that same spray to keep all the stones white
Mm.
and
Do you
all.
ever get like, yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, but I thought it was neat when they said that the White House is sprayed with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I wonder if we can get that here. We might be able to get that here, actually. Do people like? Is this? Is anyone paid to actually do this at all, or I mean, so if you decide if you're really really good at it and you're just cleaning grave upon grave and you get approached, so I'll pay you to take care of our graveyard, or so. What
I
would
mean, if someone offered me money, I might not say no to it. but right now, it's just kind of a neat. I don't know. I just enjoy it. I'm an introvert, so being in a cemetery
that?
by yourself and then like seeing it as every visit, it gets better and cleaner. It just kind of helps me out 4.5 liters.
Yeah.
Uh,
One's got 3.78, 4.5. I think it's pretty much the same.
yeah, that's what I was saying. It was 4 liters equal a gallon. Because
Mm.
I'm at a gas station right now, and that they do gallons in America, but it seems the rest of the world does liters.
Yes. Europe,
I
Australia.
I guess it's a lot cheaper to do it by the gallon. What was it?
Mm.
It's $3.15 a gallon here. So
Yes.
that divide that by
Mm.
4, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. I'm sort of, hang on. Let's see if I've got any other questions written down here. Do you ever get sad?
At the cemetery.
Yeah, like when you're cleaning them up, do you ever get like, oh,
No,
it's sad?
no, I don't, because I feel like what's sad is that they've been abandoned for, in some cases, probably never cleaned in 100 years or 150 years. So I'm actually happy. Like, I'm like, it's kind of like a remodel show. It's like I'm renovating their grave.
Oh,
So
okay. Yep.
excited for them. But no, I don't get sad from it. But beyond the grave cleaning, I do sometimes get very introspective of like when you're in a cemetery and you're just you start realizing just how short life is, and it's like
Mm.
eventually this will be for everybody who will end up dead at some point. And I was like, so sometimes it doesn't make me sad. It actually just makes me realize that I need to live life even more to the you know and then also
Yeah.
the idea that will somebody clean my grave for me. you know
It's in 100 years' time.
yeah,
Someone comes and cleans your grave, and your ghost will be like, "Yay!"
I've thought about that. Like, I wonder if I can like pay them a little extra to like clean the grave every like 5 years or something like that, just a little
Mm.
spray. But
Absolutely, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
that would be cool.
Yes. Um. Oh my god. Okay, blue. Totally, totally off topic, but I just had to put that up there.
Well,
That's hilarious. It's almost like when America became independent, it's almost like they rejected everything British. So they're like, so they just changed everything around just because they could.
yeah, well, I guess the imperial system is British, and they changed to the metric system, but we felt like I was good enough to just keep it the same. 'Cause I heard Canada was doing the miles and all the gallons and all that stuff, and then they switched. But interesting history to that is I think in the '60s they passed a metric act that was supposed to convert America to the metric system fully. Um,
Oh,
and that they actually made an office and they hired a guy, and that was his job. What one guy was to get all the states converted over. And so every now and then when driving on the interstate, you'll see an old sign that will say miles or and it say kilometers.
wow.
And so
Wow.
they were slowly starting to convert over to kilometers, but for whatever reason, something happened, and America is very stubborn.
Hmm.
One thing we're known for is being stubborn, and yeah, they just never did it. They ended up closing the metric office, and so even though it's still a law that we're supposed to be on the metric system, it never
Yeah,
it never happened. So
it never happened. Wow, that's interesting. That's off topic, but very interesting.
yeah,
Very
be on
interesting.
the metric system. I actually agree because I don't know why we're always the Lone Ranger and everything.
Mm, ah, well, I guess it's good to be different sometimes.
Yeah,
But anyway, back to topic. We have now. Here's a statement. So I'm actually going to turn it into a question, if you don't mind, Jackie. I bet there are abandoned cemeteries that have headstones that are beyond fixing. So, are there lots of abandoned cemeteries that are beyond repair, like headstones are beyond repair, maybe?
yeah, there are. Like I've been in some cemeteries where they're all broken and either it was vandalism or it just they broke it over time. But yeah, like some of them desperately that they don't need repaired, they need replaced.
Mm,
And there are some cemeteries like I'm from Nashville, so in the South they're big on Confederate stuff. So there are Confederate cemeteries where they'll actually rebuild they'll put in brand new headstones, but
hmm.
to celebrate the traitors, I guess.
Wow. So, what's the general attitude towards preserving cemeteries? Now, I've seen a lot of videos. I know Sandra Pink does a lot of videos on cemeteries. Mark B. I think Tipper TV have been to a number of cemeteries from time to time. I don't know who else is on. I don't even think Mark B's on, but I just have to mention it because he's just an amazing YouTuber. And they've got beautiful cemeteries, and they're all pristine and just well kept and just stunning. Is there like a really a certain attitude towards cemeteries from the American public in general to keep them all nice and tidy? And because us in Australia, we have we have a few select state cemeteries that are well taken care of, and then we've got a cemeteries that are like just left to rot, literally. If it
Yeah.
weren't for volunteers, they wouldn't even get any recognition at all.
Well, I've been all over the country looking at cemeteries, and what I've come to discover is if you're white and it's a white based cemetery, it most likely has the funds to keep the maintenance up, and so they have what they call perpetual care. So when things do need fixing, like they'll come in and like put in a like a headstone that was broken. They'll fix it and all that stuff, and then they'll just keep the yard and nice and clean. But unfortunately, when I go to like black dominated cemeteries, many of them are in complete disrepair. Like around Detroit and Chicago, many of the headstones had completely sunk into the ground, and
Wow.
and many of them, like you could only see like only part of the headstone, and yeah, it was actually very sad to just see, and unfortunately, rate they have to deal with race, while living, but when they die, that's the same thing. They're
Mm.
like cemeteries that are in desperate need of funding, and
Yeah.
and that's why I think the veteran cemeteries are the best cemeteries for the how clean they are and how everything is nice and polished, but it's also well funded. So it all comes down to money, unfortunately.
Mm.
And the richer people are that are buried there, the the more they can do.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I've seen some. Mark took us to, I can't remember where it was, Peaksville or something one. And what was it, the Chrysler family, the Chrysler Mausoleum. That's like a friggin' mansion.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I bought a plot at one of my favorite cemeteries. It's actually the same cemetery I'm cleaning graves. I figured I call them my dirt mates. So I,
Yeah.
I figured I'll be in the ground too. I'll be one of their neighbors eventually. So I was like, want to keep everybody happy. You need
Mm.
cleaning, just and but yeah, there's a lot of richer like old money like from the 1800s. So there's a lot of big mausoleums and really big statues.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yes.
am not rich, so I will have a more normal size headstone.
Oh, I'll be lucky if I'm given a cardboard box and a thrower for the end of the jetty.
Yeah, just by the dirt alone was expensive.
Okay. Kanga was asking earlier. Um, I think were cemeteries segregated according to race at one point?
Oh yeah, in America, definitely. Yeah. In fact, here in America, there's actually different cemeteries that and like there'll be what they call. I was at one, and it was called the North Cemetery. It was all these fancy monuments and all, and then there was what they called the South Cemetery, and it was basically just an open field of grass, and they said that's where the slaves were buried, and African Americans, but for many years, in most southern states at least, it was illegal for a black person to be buried in a white cemetery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
yeah, and now it's different in different states. Like the North had sections that where African Americans were buried. But they're all also religion. So I've been to Muslim cemeteries. There's a ton of Catholic cemeteries, and usually Catholic cemeteries are pretty well taken care of. But
Yes.
yeah, it's kind of done with both. But every now and then I'll go to a cemetery that will say that they were one of the few that had both black and white people buried back in the 1800s.
Okay, yeah. Kangan, no, I think you can answer that question. Asking, does it pay or is it more of a hobby?
Oh, it pays nothing. In fact, I spend money. I have to buy the materials and the solution and all, but um, yeah, it's just a hobby, and an unusual hobby, but it brings me joy.
Yes. Good night, Sandra. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh well, thank you, Sandra.
If before you go, Sandra, pop your link down if you've not haven't gone already. I think you're an admin or a moderator.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
because when you posted on Facebook the other day, and that's the first time I've heard of like cemetery or gravestone cleaning as a hobby. Oh my God, this is so fascinating. I know so many people who love cemeteries and visit cemeteries and you
yeah,
know, and I thought so many people are going to find this fascinating. And one of the reasons why I upgraded my StreamYard today is I could go live on Facebook and Twitter so that more people can access it. And I don't know if it's worked or not. I've joined it, but who knows if it's actually going live on the other platforms. I wouldn't have a clue. Doesn't seem to be live on Twitter or Facebook, but never mind. Hang on. Sorry, people. I'm just checking. No, hasn't worked. So yeah, there you go. So what was I do flower projects sometimes at cemeteries that are unloved. If I were to start cleaning headstones, I would be done for vandalism as I don't have permission from the cemetery authorities. Wow, I didn't know that, Jackie.
yeah. Different places have different rules. Like other people that saw my Facebook post about the cleaning said that this cemetery actually has volunteers go out on like one weekend, and they're like I've cleaned multiple years. They're like, you should join us the next time. So while some cemeteries don't like it, other cemeteries welcome it, and actually um, it depends on the cemetery, but that some places have like friends of. So like there, even parks will have that like friends of, and it's basically a bunch of people get together and they're like, hey, we'll fund this or we'll do these projects. So we'll do cleanup projects. And also, I consider making a friends of that cemetery, like a nonprofit, so that way people can donate, to it. And then just the money goes to, the materials. And really, what I need is a bunch of like teenage boys who have a lot of energy and a lot of upper body strength to just just get a bunch of brushes. And I'm like, I'll do the spraying, you just brush,
Yes,
And
yes.
it,
Um,
it's a good workout.
yeah, actually, it might be like, would it be feasible to like formalize the hobby in some kind of, I don't know, grand gesture project type of thing to say, okay, we're a group of volunteers or a group of people who just like doing headstones. Let's formalize this and just offer our services. And I don't know, does that sound? Is that? Well, I don't know. What do you think? Am I
Yeah,
making sense?
yeah, I would think it'd be a cool thing if people would want to join in and kind of like say like on this particular day each year they'll go out and just clean a bunch of graves.
Mm,
And yeah, because I know at some cemeteries the workers do the cleaning themselves. So
yes.
I imagine if people are willing to buy the materials and do the labor for free, most cemeteries are going to be cool with that. But I guess the downside is if they don't do any cleaning of graves, that they may not. They may be skeptical of having people clean graves because they're afraid that they'll damage the gravestone.
Oh, absolutely. I suppose. Would you need to know what you're doing though?
Yeah,
Did you do much research?
I did. Yeah, the Good Cemeterian Facebook group actually has tutorials, and they even have video tutorials of them going to a grave and doing the whole cleaning. So yeah, I just watched a lot of tutorials.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't recommend someone go out and buy what's it called, D2? Somebody wouldn't go out and just buy a jar of D2 and just start cleaning.
Well, you at at a minimum you could just spray it and all, and it would work over time. As it
Yeah,
rains, it will activate, and so it will slowly start killing off the moss and the things that are growing on there. So I've done that to some graves where I'll just spray it for a couple of months and just go
yeah.
back and see that it's whiter, and I haven't even touched it beyond just the spray.
Okay, but I still recommend if people want to get into grave cleaning, still
Yeah.
recommend watch a few tutorials. Join the join the
Join the movement.
join the movement. Find a cemetery grave cleaning page and I don't know, watch a tutorial or something like that. Get some tips and tricks from other people who have obviously done it in the past or have done it for a while. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. That's an amazing hobby. I'm really pleased. I think a lot of people are enjoying this interview with you, Tabitha. You're very knowledgeable,
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
and
the
I
best
think
grapes to clean are the white marble. Uh,
yes,
the marble ones. Now the granite ones. I mean, it's just when you're going for the awe factor to go from like a dirty grave to a pure white grave and all that
mm,
stuff. It's more dramatic with marble, especially
yeah.
the 1800s marble.
Mm. Do you have a favourite grave that you've done so far?
Oh, a favorite grave? Yeah, actually, the one that I did. That's my favorite grave. That and then I did her kids too, but I haven't. I didn't upload a picture of it, but I do have it.
Now, the picture that I used for my is actually your picture. It's not my picture. It's
Yeah.
actually your picture. So I have to declare that. Um, and use with permission. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
now I didn't. I should have taken a closer look before we even started this. But when was that done? Tell me more about that particular grave site headstone.
Yeah. That's it's in Nashville, and I was just walking through, and I noticed that here's the tops of the graves were white, so I knew that they were marble. Um, and but it was in pretty bad shape, and I was like, this is gonna look really nice with a little scrubbing. So so I kind of just chose it that way. But nearby, there's a famous judge who he was one of the early settlers of Nashville. So,
Oh, okay.
so I started cleaning his, but he has a really big monument, like it's probably 20 feet tall, and I'm just trying
Yeah.
to clean the one side that has his name there, and that's exhausting. I'm like, I've cleaned
Ah,
it 5 times now, but it still has more to go. It's just
wow.
a lot of height. I'm 5'9", and I can barely reach to even
Oh,
half.
you'll need a step ladder.
Yeah, yeah, and the one guy I know that works at the for the cemetery, he works for Dignity, which Dignity owns most of the country's cemeteries. Uh,
Hmm.
I would say well over 60% of all the cemeteries are Dignity. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just so strange because some of the cemeteries could care less about me taking pictures of graves, and other ones that they have security, and I've been escorted out of cemeteries for taking a picture. So
Really?
yeah, I'm
Wow.
like, Lord, I definitely can't clean the grave there. I can't even take a picture without being showed to the door. Um,
Mm.
but those are all out in LA. They're crazy in LA about
Yeah.
graves. But in the middle of nowhere in the country, they could care less. Just don't break anything.
Yes. The solution pocket what? Oh, sorry. Tabitha, go on. Pocket Watch must have come in late and wants to know what.
Oh, the marble, yes. The D2 solution, D2 biological solution. If you Google that, that should pull up a lot of places where you can buy
Yeah.
buy the spray.
Yeah, and I don't know, it may or may not be called the same thing in Australia. Sometimes some of the products that come from overseas or America have a label change.
Oh, okay.
And that they actually changed the label of the name. Like we've got now, just recently, we've got a TJ TJ. What's the TJ Max? Is it TJ Maxx? But over in the US, it's TJ. In Florida, is TJ something else?
Oh, it's TJ Maxx in Nashville.
Yeah, and what we've got TJ, and I can't remember what it's called. But like, yeah, a lot of products, a lot of stores, a lot of things, they have name changes when they come to Australia.
Oh,
So it might be called something different here.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
So just be aware of that. We have TJ Maxx.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a TJ Maxx locally.
Is that yeah? And I think TJ. What it is in Florida is another. Florida has another name for it.
Oh yeah, Florida's weird.
Yes,
Well,
TJ Maxx and TK Maxx in
yeah,
Australia.
oh, it is
Yes,
TK Maxx.
yes, TJ or TK. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, you've got Burger King. We call it Hungry Jack's over here,
Oh,
and
Hunter.
it's actually the parent company is Burger King.
Oh, yeah. Well, even in America, there's different names for the same restaurant depending on your location. So, like um, Hardee's on the East Coast is known as Carl Max on the West Coast, and then there's a place in the South called Checkers, but it's called Rally's Hamburgers up in the North, and it's the exact same.
Ah.
It's the same logo. It's just the same logo. It's just the name has changed, and it's the same food. Like nothing's changed other than the name. And I never understood why they did that, but they say that some areas of the country they don't. The western side, like the East Coast, doesn't like things from the West Coast.
that's like
Yeah.
that's like Victoria and South Australia in Australia. Victoria and South Australia, we are at odds with each other, and especially when it comes to football,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
which is nothing like your, anything you play in America. This is proper footy, and yeah, we have a huge. So, what's the Carl's Junior? I'm not too
Oh,
sure what that's in reference to.
oh, yeah, Carl's Jr. That's on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, it's Hardee's.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It,
yeah.
same menu, same heart attack. It's just a different name. But yeah, it is every now and then that you'll find that where a West Coast or East Coast will have different names, and it'll be the same place, same owner.
We have fry sauce in Utah, but the rest of the country hasn't even heard of it. Oh, that's like, yeah, we have similar. South Australia has fruit chocks, which is chocolate covered apricot, but you can only get it in South Australia. And Fritz.
Oh, really?
Yes, you go to another state and you ask for Fritz, and they're like, what? We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have any Germans around here.
Oh,
And I am committed, Tipper, to sending you some Australian food stuff to sell at your next auction. I've just got to find some time to do the shopping
yeah,
and get that organised.
Vegemite or whatever I've heard of it. Like, I live in the South, but I was born in the North, and so there's a lot that they say that's a lot different in the South. So I grew up calling it pop, but I grew up where I live now. They call it soda or Coke.
Yes, we
Everything's
call it. Yeah.
uh,
Sorry, just getting back to the topic at hand. I know it's easy to ramble on about other things. as much as I'm enjoying that conversation. Pocket Watch wants to know, do you redo the lettering on the graves, like gold them up or darken the letters to make them stand out? Or do you just, maybe you just clean?
I just clean. Yeah. At that point, I'd be afraid that it could, I wouldn't want to have someone say I'm vandalizing the grave, like if I'm painting that. But for something like that, I would probably need to uh, contact like a monument company, to restore, I'm sure they have special paint for that kind of stuff. I just clean them.
Fizzy drinks, yeah. If you came across a headstone made of concrete, is the solution more water than chemical?
Of concrete. I'm sure the D2 would probably work for that, but you could always try just water and a brush. And you have to use a soft bristle brush. You can't use like a metal brush. That would damage a grave.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mark and Annette. Enjoy your visitors. Don't forget to make them a coffee. Fizzy drink here. Cool. Okay, we're heading towards the hour mark. People, if you have links, quickly drop them in now. Share some love. Put them in now. And seriously, while people are dropping in their links to their channels or specific videos that you want people to watch, I encourage everyone to click on like, subscribe, and share to those people. That would be wonderful. Thank you. And while everyone's doing that, and I'm pretty sure almost everyone here, I don't think Tipper TV's an admin. I'm just going to quickly make you an admin. Where are you? Add moderator. I was almost going to hide you. And I can't see from YouTube. But seriously, Tabitha, thank you for joining me on my live, on my YouTube channel.
Welcome.
I really appreciate it. And you're in Colorado?
I am, yeah. I'm storm chasing, and I'll be in Kansas in an hour.
Yes, and you were due to be you should have been at your hotel room by now, so I'm sure you're very, very tired.
It's all good. I have way too many hobbies. As like between the ghost hunting, the famous graves, and storm chasing, I'm like, I definitely have a wide spread of hobbies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like to travel too, photography.
I know. How many times a week do you? A week. How many times a year do you? Because you run your own business as well.
I do. Like I try to get out every 3 months to get at least for a few days to go somewhere. But I've been all 50 states already, and I've been to much of Canada. But they closed the borders closed to America, which is probably probably was a smart move for Canada. But eventually, I like to go and get all of Canada too. But just last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, I just finished all the 50 state capitol buildings. So not only got all 50 state buildings or the states, I got the buildings too.
Oh.
So at this point, I'm probably on par with having a cemetery in every state too.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty amazing. You do get around a lot. Well, hopefully, with any luck, next year, we'll be back in the US, and I reckon we might find ourselves a cheap motel room and hang out in Tennessee with you for a week. How does that sound?
That would be great.
Could you put up with us? I can't promise I'll clean any graves with you, but I'll certainly go. I'll hold the necrophonic while I watch you.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Oh, that'd be great. I could show you them in person too.
Absolutely, that would be amazing. And you take us to some local ghost hunting sites. That would be
Oh yeah.
excellent.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Here's the house that they were murdered in, and then I'll take you to their grave at this place. It's kind of like the full tour.
Yes, that's a lot of travel. Yeah, she does do a lot of traveling. Our Tabitha. Yeah. Anyway, so I think on that note, it's probably a good time to say good afternoon, goodbye, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. What's the time there?
It is currently, well, I'm in Mountain Time right now. It's 9:29 p.m. here,
Wow.
but I'll be in Central Time Zone, so it'll be 10:30 here shortly.
Yes, Jackie loves cemetery. In actual fact, if you want to let me know if we want to have a bit of a storm chasing. It sort of goes, well, it doesn't really go beyond the boundaries, but it might be something people are interested in as well. That might be good in a month or two time. Yes. Anyway, thank you very much. Good luck with the rest of your trip, and I hope you have some safe travels. And I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures.
Oh, thank you so much.
No worries. Okay. See you, everyone. Bye, Tabitha. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time and listening. And yes, we've just hit the hour mark now. That's probably long enough. Go get some rest.
All right. Thank you.
Or drive and get some rest. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Good evening. Good night. Or good
night.
Day. Good day
yes.
for you.
Good night to those who are going to bed.